The Korean crime boss was laughing with his men when the bartender froze mid-pour. Someone muttered, "She's pregnant." Then he saw the hospital band. 7 months. His last name. The room went quiet, because someone had erased his wife and his child right in front of him. Kang Tae-jun sat at the head of the table in the private dining room, closing a deal worth $8 million. His men laughed at something crude one of the investors said. Whiskey poured into crystal glasses. The smell of grilled meat and cigarette smoke filled the air. He was bored, ready to leave, when the door opened. A woman walked in carrying a tray. Dark skin, cheap uniform stretched tight over a swollen belly, eyes down. She moved like she wanted to be invisible. One of his men made a joke about hiring standards dropping. Another laughed and said something about desperate times. She set down drinks with shaking hands. A glass tipped, whiskey spilling across the table. The investor who'd been talking grabbed her wrist. "Can't even serve a drink properly? Who hired you?" Tae-jun looked up. His entire world stopped. Nia. Her name died in his throat. She pulled her wrist free, grabbed a cloth, started cleaning the spill without looking at anyone. But he saw the hospital identification band around her wrist. Saw the date. Saw his last name printed there in small black letters because she'd never legally changed it back. 7 months pregnant. The math hit him like a fist to the chest. His men were still laughing. The investor was still complaining. And Nia was cleaning up whiskey like she didn't know him. Like she'd never known him. Like the last 6 months hadn't happened. "Get out," Tae-jun said. Everyone stopped talking. "Sir?" one of his men asked. "Everyone out. Now." The room cleared in 30 seconds. Investors confused, his men cautious. The door closed. Silence settled heavy and suffocating. Nia straightened slowly, still holding the cloth. Still not looking at him. "Nia, you have the wrong person." Her voice was flat, American accent stronger than he remembered. She turned toward the door. "Don't." She stopped but didn't turn around. "I need this job. Whatever you think you know, you don't. Let me leave." "Is it mine?" "There is no it. There's nothing. You made sure of that." "I never." He stood, took a step toward her. She flinched. The movement was small but it gutted him. "I never wanted you gone. Your family did. That was enough." "Nia, look at me." She finally turned. Her face was thinner, exhausted, beautiful in a way that hurt. Dark circles under her eyes. Hair pulled back tight. Uniform 2 sizes too small because her belly had grown faster than she could afford new clothes. "I looked for you," he said. "For months. You disappeared. I survived. That's what you do when people with money decide you're inconvenient." "What are you talking about?" "Ask your aunt. Ask Seo-yeon. She'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about." The name landed like a knife between his ribs. His aunt. His father's sister. The woman who controlled more of the family's influence than anyone admitted. What did she do? Everything she needed to. Now let me leave before I lose this job too. If you believe the worst betrayals come from the people closest to you, subscribe right now. Only those who judge too quickly would scroll past what this truth unleashes. Nia walked to the door. He didn't stop her. Watched her leave. Watched the elevator doors close too slowly. His men stared at him from down the hallway, waiting for orders, waiting for rage, waiting for something. He gave them nothing. 6 months earlier, Nia had been summoned to a family meeting. She thought it was strange. Tae-jun hadn't mentioned it. She arrived at the traditional house in Bukshin, the one his family used for important decisions. His aunt Kang Seo-yeon sat at the head of the low table. 2 other relatives Nia had never met sat on either side. Tea was already poured. Cold. Untouched. Sit, So-yeon said in English, her accent minimal, her tone like ice. Nia sat. You've been married to my nephew for 4 months. In that time, you've done nothing but embarrass this family. I haven't. You exist. That's embarrassment enough. So-yeon's smile was surgical. You're not Korean. You're not educated in anything useful. You're not connected to anyone who matters. You're a jazz singer from Atlanta who thought a Korean man with money was her way out of poverty. That's not true. Taejun and Taejun made a mistake. He was grieving his father. He wasn't thinking clearly. That mistake is being corrected. So-yeon slid a manila folder across the table. Inside were divorce papers. Taejun's signature at the bottom, black ink, unmistakable. He already signed? Nia's voice came out small. 2 days ago. He was too kind to tell you himself. So I'm telling you. Sign. Leave quietly. We'll transfer $50,000 to your account. Enough to start over somewhere else. Somewhere far from Seoul. Nia stared at the signature. It looked real. It looked exactly like his handwriting. I want to talk to him. He doesn't want to talk to you. If he did, he'd be here. He's not. Sign the papers. Nia's hands shook. She picked up the pen. Then put it down. No. Not until I hear it from him. So-yeon's expression didn't change, but her voice dropped 10 degrees. You're making this harder than it needs to be. Sign. Or we'll make you sign. You can't force me to. Can't we? So-yeon pulled out her phone, showed Nia a photograph. Nia's mother's house in Atlanta. Wide shot, taken from across the street. You have a mother who still lives in the same neighborhood where you grew up. A brother who works at a warehouse in Marietta. They're not difficult to find. Nia felt cold all over. You're threatening my family? I'm clarifying consequences. Sign. Leave. Your family stays safe. Refuse and I'll make sure your mother loses her house. Your brother loses his job. You'll have nothing to go back to. And you'll still be divorced because those papers are already filed. Taejun's signature is real. This is a courtesy, not a negotiation. Nia took the pen, signed her name. Each letter felt like betrayal. Smart girl. You have 72 hours to leave the apartment. After that, security won't let you in. Nia left the house. Tried calling Taejun. His phone went straight to voicemail. She went to his office building in Gangnam. Security stopped her at the desk. I'm his wife. I need to see him. No one by that name is authorized. I'm on the list. Check again. The guard checked. Looked at her with something close to pity. You were removed this morning. I can't let you up. She tried his assistant. No answer. Tried his private number. Disconnected. She went back to the apartment they'd shared. Her key didn't work. New locks. A note taped to the door. Your belongings have been moved to storage. The code was sent to your phone. No code ever came. She felt sick. Went to the bathroom of a nearby cafe. Threw up. When she was done, she stared at herself in the mirror and knew. Knew before the test. Knew from the nausea and the exhaustion and the way her body felt different. Pregnant. She bought a test at a convenience store. Took it in a public bathroom at Gangnam Station. 2 lines. Clear. Undeniable. She sat on the toilet lid and cried for 20 minutes. Then she threw away Taejun's number. Threw away the test. And decided survival mattered more than truth. The next 6 months were brutal. Nia found work at restaurants that paid cash and didn't ask questions. Her tourist visa had expired. She couldn't leave the country without risking never getting back in, and she couldn't afford to leave anyway. She lived in a gaziwan in Sindang, a room barely big enough for a mattress. Shared bathroom. Shared kitchen. Walls so thin she heard every argument in the building. She worked doubles when she could. Hid her growing belly under loose clothes as long as possible. When she couldn't hide it anymore, the questions started. Where's the father? Does he know? Did he leave you? She stopped answering. Just worked. Just survived. One night, a customer at the bar grabbed her arm. You speak English? You American? Yes. Then why you here? Go home. You don't belong here. Her coworker, another woman working without papers, stepped in. Leave her alone. The customer left. The coworker, Sunmi, looked at Nia's belly. How far? 5 months. You seeing a doctor? Can't afford it. Sunmi wrote down an address. Free clinic in Itaewon. They don't ask questions. Go. Nia went. The doctor, an older Korean woman, examined her in silence, took her blood pressure, listened to the baby's heartbeat, then sat down and looked at Nia with serious eyes. You're anemic. Your blood pressure is too high. You're underweight. You need to stop working these hours. I can't. I need the money. You need to not die. You or the baby. These conditions get worse. You're looking at preeclampsia. That kills mothers. Do you understand? Nia understood. She kept working anyway. What choice did she have? She collapsed once at work. Just for a moment. Vision went dark. She caught herself on the counter. No one noticed. She drank water, steadied herself, kept moving. At night, alone in her room, she talked to her belly. I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. I'm trying. I promise I'm trying. The baby kicked. Strong. Alive. Fighting just like her. Taejun spent those same 6 months searching. He'd been out of the country when Seo-yeon made her move. Business in Hong Kong, then Tokyo, then back to find Nia gone. Apartment cleared. Phone disconnected. No forwarding information. His aunt told him Nia had left voluntarily. She took the settlement and went back to America. You're free now. Focus on the business. What settlement? The one I offered her. $50,000 to leave quietly. She signed everything. You had no right. I had every right. You married her without family approval. I corrected your mistake. Taejun wanted to rage. Wanted to destroy something. But his aunt held too much power, controlled too many pieces of the family network. He couldn't move against her without destroying everything his father built. So he searched quietly. Tracked bank accounts, the 50,000 was never touched. Checked flights, Nia never left Korea. Immigration had no exit record. She was still here somewhere hidden. He hired investigators. They found nothing. She'd gone completely off-grid. Months passed. He buried himself in work. Made the family business more profitable, more legitimate. Tried to forget the way Nia sang, the way she laughed, the way she looked at him like he could be better than what he was. Then he saw her at the bar. Pregnant. Wearing his last name on a hospital band. 7 months along. He'd lost 6 months he could never get back. After the private dining room, Taejun started digging deeper. He pulled the divorce documents his aunt claimed existed. Found the filing date. Found the signature. Had it analyzed. The lab came back, forged. Good forgery, but forged. His aunt had filed papers with a fake signature and paid someone in the courts to process them without verification. He found the settlement offer. $50,000, yes, but paid from his aunt's personal account. Offered without his knowledge. He found the apartment locks changed 2 days after Nia signed. Found her belongings destroyed, not stored. His aunt had thrown everything away. He found the clinic records. A doctor's note flagged for severe anemia, malnutrition, stress-induced hypertension. Risk level critical. His aunt had erased Nia. and he'd been too slow to stop it. He found the bar where Nia worked, waited until her shift ended at 2 a.m. She walked out the back exit, exhaustion written in every step. He stepped out of the shadows. She saw him, turned to walk the other direction. Nia, wait. No. Please. 5 minutes. I gave you 6 months. You didn't need them. She kept walking toward the bus stop. He followed. I didn't know. I was out of the country. When I came back, you were gone. I was erased. There's a difference. I know. I found the documents. The forged signature. What my aunt did. I'm fixing it. Fixing it. She stopped walking, turned to face him. Rain started falling, light at first. You think you can fix this? I've been living in a room the size of a closet. I've been working 16-hour shifts while pregnant because I have no money. I've been skipping meals so I can save enough for when the baby comes. You think signing some papers fixes that? Come home. I don't have a home. Yes, you do. Our apartment. Still there. Everything's still. Stop. Her voice broke. You already chose once. You chose to believe I'd leave. You chose to let your family decide. You chose to not fight. I don't trust your choices anymore. Then don't trust me. Trust that I won't let them hurt you again. They already did. You can't undo that. She walked to the bus stop, sat under the shelter. Rain hit the plastic roof in sharp, loud beats. Taejun sat next to her. I'm not leaving you alone. You don't get to decide that. Then call the police. Tell them I'm harassing you. I'll still be here when they leave. She looked at him. Rain dripped from his hair. His expensive suit was getting soaked. He looked miserable. She almost felt sorry for him. Almost. What do you want from me? She asked. Let me protect you. I don't need protection. I need you to leave me alone. The bus came. She got on. He didn't follow. But the next day, 2 black sedans were parked outside her gazuan. Men in suits standing by the doors. She recognized them. Taejun's security. She called him from a payphone. Call them off. They're there to keep you safe. I didn't ask for this. You're carrying my child. I'm not asking permission. You don't get to control me. I'm not trying to control you. I'm trying to keep you alive. She hung up. The stress of it, the surveillance, the lack of sleep, the fear, hit her body hard. That night she woke to cramping. Sharp. Low in her abdomen. She tried to breathe through it. Tried to tell herself it was normal. It got worse. She called the clinic. The nurse told her to come in immediately. She took a taxi, pain radiating through her body. The doctor examined her, face grave. You're in early labor. 32 weeks. We need to stop it or this baby comes now. Can you stop it? We'll try. But you need to stay calm. Stress is making this worse. Nia wanted to laugh. Calm. How could she be calm when her entire life was falling apart? They gave her medication. Monitored her for 6 hours. The contractions slowed. Stopped. The doctor sent her home with strict orders. Bed rest. No work. No stress. She had no way to follow those orders. She needed money. Needed to work. She went back to the bar the next night. Made it through 2 hours before the cramping started again. This time, the contractions didn't stop. Someone called an ambulance. Nia was barely conscious by the time they loaded her. Sirens. Bright lights. Pain so sharp she couldn't breathe. The hospital admitted her. Emergency protocols. The baby was coming, ready or not. Somewhere in the chaos, someone called Taejun. He arrived 20 minutes later, still in a business suit, face white. Where is she? The nurse led him to the room. Nia was on the bed, monitors beeping, for lines in her arm. She looked so small, so fragile. She saw him and turned her head away. Nia, you shouldn't be here. Yes, I should. The doctor entered. Older man, calm demeanor. We're doing an emergency C-section. The baby's in distress. We can't wait. Is she going to be okay? Taejun asked. We'll do everything we can. But there are risks. Blood pressure is dangerously high. We're monitoring for seizures. They prepped her for surgery. Taejun started to follow. Family only, the nurse said. I'm her husband. The nurse looked at Nia. Nia said nothing. The nurse let him through. In the surgical suite, they put a curtain across Nia's chest. Taejun stood by her head. She wouldn't look at him. I'm sorry, he said. Don't. I should have fought harder. Should have found you sooner. It doesn't matter now. It matters to me. She finally looked at him. Tears running down the sides of her face into her hair. You let them erase me. That's what matters. The surgery began. Nia couldn't feel the incision, but she felt pressure. Felt them moving inside her. Felt the moment they pulled the baby out. Silence. Then crying. Small, furious, alive. It's a girl, the doctor said. They held her up for a moment. Tiny, covered in vernix, fists waving. Then took her away to be cleaned and checked. Is she okay? Nia asked. She's small, early, but breathing on her own. We'll know more soon. They finished closing Nia. Moved her to recovery. The baby went to NICU. Taejun stood in the hallway between the two rooms, not knowing where to go. His phone rang. His aunt. I heard there was an incident. Is the child yours? Yes. Then we need to discuss guardianship. Given the mother's circumstances. No. Taejun, be reasonable. The woman has no legal status here. No means of support. The child needs her mother. And I'm making sure she has everything she needs. You're choosing her over this family? I'm choosing my family. Nia and our daughter. That's my family now. Seo-yun's voice went cold. You'll regret this. I'll see to it. You already did your worst. It's not working anymore. He hung up, turned off his phone. 2 hours later, security at the hospital stopped a man trying to enter NICU. He had papers claiming custody rights on behalf of the Kong family. Taejun intercepted him. Leave. I have authorization. You have nothing. That child is mine. Her mother is my wife. You're not getting near either of them. The man retreated. But Taejun knew this was just the beginning. His aunt was moving pieces, positioning for control. She wanted the baby as leverage. Wanted to erase Nia again and keep the child as an heir to manipulate. He had one move left. One way to protect them both. He called his lawyer. Draft documents removing me from succession. Everything business, property, holdings. Transfer it all to my cousin. I'm out. Sir, if you do this, you lose everything. I know. Your aunt will control the family assets. I know. You'll have nothing. I'll have them. That's enough. The papers were filed by morning. By noon, his aunt knew. By evening, she was at the hospital, fury barely contained. You destroyed yourself for her? I protected my family from you. That child belongs to this family. That child belongs to her mother. And I belong to both of them. You have no claim. No leverage. No way to touch them. Seo-yun looked at him like he was a stranger. You were supposed to be your father's legacy. I'm my daughter's father. That's the legacy I choose. She left without another word. Nia woke in recovery, groggy from anesthesia. Taejun was sitting next to her bed. The baby. Her voice was rough. She's stable. Small but fighting. The doctors say she'll be okay. Relief hit her so hard she started crying. Taejun reached for her hand. She let him take it. "I'm sorry," he said. "For all of it. For not finding you sooner. For letting them hurt you. For not being who you needed me to be. This doesn't fix us. I know. I don't forgive you. I know. But I need help. I can't do this alone. You won't have to. I'm not leaving. Not this time." She looked at him, saw the exhaustion in his face, the fear, the guilt. "What did you do?" "What I should have done 6 months ago. I chose you." 3 days later, they let Nia hold her daughter. Tiny girl with dark hair and her mother's nose. Eyes that hadn't decided their color yet. She was so small, so fragile, so perfect. Taejun stood next to the chair watching them. "She needs a name." "I was thinking Mina. It means beautiful in Korean, right?" "It does. Mina Kookong. Just Mina Cook. She doesn't need your family's name weighing her down. She's still mine." "Then prove it." Nia looked up at him. "Not with money. Not with power. Prove it by being here. Every day. Every night. Prove it by not running when it gets hard." "I will." "Words are cheap." "Then I'll show you." And he did. For the next 3 months, Taejun showed up. Every morning, every evening. He learned to change diapers. Learned to make bottles. Learned to calm Mina when she cried at 3 a.m. and Nia was too exhausted to move. He found them an apartment in Itaewon. Small, modest, nothing like the penthouse they'd lived in before. Nia decorated it herself. Made it a home. He helped her apply for proper documentation. Hired a lawyer to fix her visa status. Made sure she had everything legally in place. He didn't push. Didn't demand. Just showed up. Slowly, painfully, trust started to rebuild. Not the naive trust from before. Something harder, something earned. One night, Mina asleep between them on the couch, Nia asked, "What do you want from this?" "What do you mean?" "From us. From me. What are you hoping for?" Taejun was quiet for a long time. "I want you to forgive me, but I don't think I deserve it. So I'll settle for you letting me be part of her life. Part of your life if you'll let me. I don't know if I can forgive you. I know. Your family destroyed me. You let them. I did. And I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make up for it." She looked at Mina. "She deserves better than broken parents. Then we'll be better. Together. I don't know if I can trust you again." "Then don't. Not yet. But let me prove I'm worth the risk." 6 months after Mina was born, Nia agreed to marry him again. Not because everything was fixed. Not because the pain was gone. But because he'd shown up every single day. Because he'd proven love was more than words. They had a small ceremony. Just them, the baby, and the officiant. No family. No spectacle. Just 2 people choosing each other with open eyes and scarred hearts. Taejun worked legitimately now. Consulting, investments, nothing connected to his aunt's empire. He made enough. They lived comfortably, not extravagantly. Nia started singing again. Small venues, intimate crowds. She sang with her daughter in a carrier strapped to her chest. Sang songs about survival and second chances. 1 year after the wedding, they stood in their small apartment. Mina taking wobbly first steps between them. Sunlight coming through the windows. Life imperfect but real. "Any regrets?" Taejun asked. Nia thought about it. About the pain and the erasure and the months of suffering. About the way love could be weaponized. About how hard it was to rebuild trust. Too many to count. But not about her. Not about this. "I'm sorry I wasn't better sooner. I'm sorry I had to suffer for you to learn." They stood together, watching their daughter discover her feet. Not fixed. Not whole. But healing. building something new from the broken pieces of what they'd lost. If you believe love that survives betrayal is the only kind worth having, subscribe and turn on notifications, because what these two face next will cost even more. Only those afraid of real sacrifice would turn away now.